old school. He's a guy who you think is a crazy man.
Oh wow.
Who's walking on the street with a 12-foot cross on wheels and won't get out of the way, and he's talking, he's talking to himself the whole time. So you've seen these guys. You've seen them in New York. You've seen them in LA, and he's like, whoa, dude, and he won't get out of my. I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to go through the crosswalk, and he's standing there in my way. So I roll the window down. And he says, "You believe in the cross of Christ?" Yeah, I'm a preacher. So that's what I do. He says, "Yeah, but what does it mean to you?" And I'm like, how is he asking me this? Do you know what I do every day? And then I start to think about it. And he walks across the street and he has an encounter where he could lose his life with some thugs. And I realized that in the face of it, he's just right there with his cross. And I started thinking, well, what does that really mean to me? Like, what is this? I mean, the character. What is he? What is really happening? And what does it really mean to believe in the cross? And so that starts this whole journey of him going home. He's got a sermon to give, and he starts thinking about that moment. And that moment changes his life and the lives of all of these people. So the story intertwines as you go. So I go home, write the sermon, give the sermon, and then everyone goes out, and what happens from there is magic. And then it all comes together in a culminating scene on a bridge on a rainy night, and it's very cool.
So a preacher. Now you're playing a preacher. Now, to prepare to play a preacher and actually be authentic, what did you have to do to get in that space?
Well, I grew up going to all kinds of different churches. We went all over the place as a kid. So I've had nothing but experiences. And because I wanted to be a preacher or a priest, my granddad's from Ireland, so we spent some time in the Catholic Church as well. And I was very drawn to it. I didn't really know what it was, and I realize now that it's sort of that when you're a pastor or a preacher, the performance, the power of getting up there and giving a message that can literally change somebody's life, including your own.
Right.
So that was magic, and I think that's what I was relating to, sort of the drama of it. And this was like the perfect melding of everything, because now I get to play the character that I kind of always wanted to be. And this was, magic. Now this guy, Pastor Matthew, has a wife who is infertile and can't get pregnant, has a very, very soft, sensitive spot. And it's a huge bump in their own relationship. But because a lot of people almost everyone I talk to whose dad is a preacher, a minister, you realize that you're in charge of a large community of people, and so much of your caring goes out, and that sometimes the people who you love the most are overlooked and right behind that door, because there's always someone calling, and that's who you are. So I realized that as the character hadn't taken care of, I just couldn't take care of my wife. I mean, her pain was so great, and any woman can relate to that. That's such a deep place. And to drive down the street and see a young pregnant girl who's got nowhere to go, and it seems like this baby's going to go to someone who doesn't really care, and she'll whatever. So this is like that moment. I bring this girl home, and she says, "What are you doing? You got to get her out of here. What about me? What about our family?" And so then we have this amazing journey of how are we going to heal this, and it comes full circle. I don't want to give away the end of the movie. I don't know if I should. But the end of the movie, there's a baby born, and in a very, very difficult situation. I mean, when we actually filmed the movie, we had a scene on a bridge, and it's 6 nights we filmed the whole movie was made at night. So you go to work at 5 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, and go home at 7 in the morning.
Wow.
And Sybil said something about the gimbal. There was
So on the bridge, there's a bunch of car accidents. So this is like an action. I mean, this movie has literally everything that a mainstream movie would have. It has drama, action, love. It has everything. But in this particular instance, there's a accident one after the other. Sort of a chain of events that happens on this bridge. And Sybil, her car gets teetered over the edge of the bridge. And so she's in the back she's got Lee Majors, so you're always in good hands. The $6 million man is in the car with you. And there's a really cute little girl who's going to be a giant star. She'll be the discovery of this coming out of this film. McKinsey, she's spectacular in this.
Wow.
Anyway, but Sybil had never been in a gimbal. And you know, it's going like, so the car is attached to something and you think it's going to fall, and she's screaming, she's swearing. She had to pay the little girl nonstop for swearing. The little girl said, my mom pays every time. So Sybil was just doling out bills.
She didn't tell us that part.
Hey, she never wants
Make it rain.
Yeah, she made no money on the movie. Anyway, and then she laughs because, you know, Lee's like, whatever, tip it more. He's done everything. So that was quite a deal. But we knew it was going to be raining when we were doing it throughout the movie. So we decided to film everything that when it wasn't raining, we had a rain machine. We had a, so you're basically out. So now we're doing, and because it's all night, it's getting cold. We're in Michigan, and the wind would come up, and that rain was brutal. So I'm going to deliver a baby, and it's a real baby. It's a brand new real baby.
Oh, wow.
And it kept, you know,
He's in a
completely- it is unbelievable, and it was brutal to keep him from coming out because I'm in pouring. They're spraying me down like crazy while it's happening, and we're freezing, and I couldn't let the baby get near it. And so there's a lot of horrible misery going on in that moment, and it comes out fantastic. It's a magic thing. Anyway, you see, every single one of these stories comes full circle. So if, you know, I was talking to someone who I showed it to, and they said, so that's so amazing because you want to see what happens. And I will say that you are rewarded for every single one of these people that you're concerned about.
So does the